YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Booda back in the building, filming this for the third time. Okay, so I'm gonna try and make this third time's the charm. So we're here for another discussion video, kind of a follow-up to the first discussion video I put out. That was 5 reasons why you haven't heard of the game, discussing some flaws I had seen or I had learned about. This is the follow-up being 5 ways I feel like the game could be improved. I thought, what better time to put this video out than right after the most recent Q&A video. Go check that out. I did a live reaction to it. But it gave me a good idea of the state of the developers in the game, since with that interaction that they had with the Discord player base. It was a really good time. I enjoyed it. But it got me thinking, you know, what did I see? What do I feel like could be better to just make this game reach the potential that I and many others feel like is there? So remember, this is all opinion, so I would love to know yours, and just let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, second thoughts, further thoughts, because that's a lot of the fun in doing these videos, is seeing what y'all say. So looking at the first reason, I put developer transparency. What I mean by that, from what I saw in the Discord, there was one question asked in particular. It was, what's the size of your development team? And then it was like a follow-up of, are you guys hiring? And I thought it was a little weird that Taka-san, the PR director, was like, we can't disclose that information. And it just got me thinking, why? Like, obviously there's information that you need to keep to yourself regarding revenue and expenses and other info like that. But I don't feel like team size is something that needs to be kept hidden. In fact, I think it could give us players a better insight into how things are running. Like I mentioned in the other video, it would tell me how many projects can they take on roughly, how is the speed at which things are coming out, and you can kind of correlate. Okay, so they have a team this size, it took them this long to get this function out. This is kind of the pace that they're running at now. So it builds kind of a more intimate relationship between the players and the developers. I think roadmaps as to what they are working on or what they are planning to work on after their current projects would also help greatly. Just instill a bit of excitement and confidence in the current projects that the devs are working on. Looking at my second point, I wrote down more player engagement. Obviously, I think those Discord Q&As are great, but I think they should be doing those every month. Monthly Q&As, I think, could benefit them greatly. I also thought, you know, I don't see a lot of like in-game surveys or Twitter polls. I think would be a great tool for them to utilize. Even if they've already kind of decided on what route they're going to in a particular project, I think just asking, saying, hey, players, if you had to choose, would you rather us focus on A or focus on B with this new feature coming up? And passionate players, which I've seen a lot of in this fan base, they like to have their voices heard, so it just gives them another platform to do that. Numero 3, is more end game content. And by end game content, I mean difficult modes that can continue to evolve over time for the whale/super veterans who have done as much grinding as they can. Now they're stuck with 1,000,000 mats, maxed out characters, and nothing to do. Those are the people I'm talking about. Any kind of content that requires very specific strategy. If you've got your entire roster maxed out, ready to go, available, now we're talking into the fine detail mechanics about which characters function a certain way and how do they affect the team in a certain way, so you can build out something to defeat an extremely hard mode. Which I believe they're kind of accomplishing with the Tower of Trials, but I haven't seen much else besides that. When it comes to rewards, right now you're looking at the people who they want maybe titles and accolades that they can attach to their name tag or to a character to show off, hey, I'm a badass, I did these difficult things, this is what I get for it. And it's kind of bragging rights, more so than here's more materials that you don't need because you're maxed out in everything, right? It doesn't help the end game, the long-term veteran players. That doesn't help them. I think what keeps people around is bragging rights. If you've made it this far in the story, you want to show it off. Alright, for number 4, I wrote down more focus on balance updates. Yes, I think it is so critical, and I see a lot of demand for it in the players. The biggest one that I saw during that Discord Q&A was, hey, the sniper class and the tank class are pretty much irrelevant nowadays. Are there any plans to bring them back to relevancy? And there was not an answer given that made me feel like, oh yeah, they're actually focused on this and trying to improve it. All I saw was, hey, we're trying to release multiplayer, we got all hands on deck, and until then, we'll see what's going to come in the future. A better answer would be, yeah, we've got a list of ideas right now, we're testing out different ways to bring it back to relevancy, and look for that in the future, right? There wasn't any confidence in, oh yeah, this is something they know is wrong, and they're actively working to fix it. I think to make a great gacha game, you gotta have the old content just be just as exciting to play with as the new content that's coming out. Great gachas that I see, for example, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, EZAs they're called, where they take these old 3, 4, 5-year-old units and they give them these massive buffs to bring them back to relevancy in the current meta. I think if Ada started doing that with a lot of their characters here, which they do occasionally, but I'm talking about more of, right? I don't think there's enough. I think with every new piece of content that they drop, there should be a rebalance, a new way to uplift irrelevant features in the game. I think it would benefit them greatly. Bringing old content back to life, it just breathes a fresh life into the game that both veterans and new characters can enjoy. The best gachas are balanced, or at least constantly trying to be balanced in every aspect of the game, old and new content alike. And finally, for reason number 5, I put acknowledge and retain feedback exchanged between the player base and the devs. And some of you might be thinking, what are you talking about here? So I want to bring up a very specific example I saw in Discord. There was a question by one of the players that said, hey, are we ever going to get a PC client for Last Cloudia global version? And the answer was, oh, if there's enough demand for it, then we'll definitely consider doing it. And someone pointed out that for the last 6 months worth of Q&As, the players have been asking for a global PC client for Last Cloudia, and it seems to me that Taka-san's answer is the same every time. Like, it's the first time the players have ever asked for it. It'd be one thing if someone asked it, let's say in a January Q&A, and he said, hey, we know you guys want it, it's just not on the top list of priorities, we'll get there eventually. But to keep saying, oh yeah, if there's demand for it, you know, then we might consider it. Oh, do you guys want that? Let us know. Like, yes, we want it. We've let you know we want it. And so you playing dumb, or I don't know, it makes it feel like you're not really listening to what the players are saying. So that's why I worded it acknowledging and retaining the exchange of feedback between both parties. And that about sums it up. I think I could make a video, maybe entire videos for each one of those topics. I just wanted to go over them briefly and get to the gist of what I was trying to say. I'm sure and excited to see your response to this. These discussion videos are really interesting to me. You know, let me know if I'm off the mark on anything. I'm also coming at this from a very naive and early standpoint in my observation of the game and the developers and all the different aspects of it. I would love to hear your opinions. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. And like I always say, work hard, play harder. See you in the next video. And devs, listen to the players. They've got all the answers.